Okay, so I have played the first two episodes of Dispatch, and I wanted to come on here and just talk about my thoughts and opinions on the game so far and everything. And ever since this game was announced at the Game Awards last year, I have been following this game ever since, basically. And I know they released a demo earlier this year, and I actually ended up playing it. I didn't make a video on it because the demo was pretty short, and so I was like, okay, I could make a video out of this, but like, you know, it's not really much to go on here. But yeah, ever since this game has been revealed, I've definitely been interested in it. Like the whole concept of it being basically like an office workspace comedy, but also with superheroes, but it's also a choice-based game. All those things combined had me interested from the get-go. And so yeah, I wanted to go over the first two episodes, episode 1 Pivot and episode 2 On Board, and just talk about, you know, my thoughts on the story, the gameplay, and how I just feel about this game so far. They've only released the first two episodes, but they are going to be releasing new episodes weekly. So I believe the next two episodes, 3 and 4, will be releasing October 29th. And so, yeah. And also I will be talking about, I guess, like spoilers. And so if you haven't played the first two episodes, I would go and play them because I will be talking about them. So yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so going into this game, I think the main thing that, or I guess got me excited to play this game in the first place is just the fact that like this is like a choice-based games. And when it comes to choice-based games, you know, I have a weird history with them, just in the fact that like when it comes to like the most popular choice-based games, you know, when we talk about The Walking Dead, or we talk about The Wolf Among Us, or we talk about any of like, you know, Telltale style choice-based games or anything like that, I have a weird history just in the fact that like I've never really had, I was never able to experience those games for myself, or like for the first time for myself. Usually, you know, being a kid or being younger, I didn't have, you know, necessarily the money to go out and buy my own video games. And so when it came to like these types of games, I would usually just watch a YouTuber play them, or like a content creator play through them. And that's how I would experience the game, like through someone else's playthrough. And so going into this game, I was definitely excited just in the fact that I was going to be able to experience this game for myself and, you know, make choices, or you know, experiencing the game, you know, without, you know, knowing anything about it, and making my own choices. And after, you know, playing through it, you know, I'm being able to go and see other people's choices and, you know, see what they did and what they did differently from me and everything. And just so that in itself was like intriguing or interesting to me. And so I was definitely happy that I was able to go into like a game like this and not, I guess, be surprised by things and everything. When it comes to the story of this game, I am enjoying the story so far. Just to give like an overview of just like the game so far, of just the story. You play as Robert Robertson, aka Mecha Man, and basically you are, just in the intro so far, you are trying to find basically your dad's killer, or you're trying to find this, I guess, villain named Shroud who killed your dad. And so his whole thing is that like he doesn't have any superpowers. Like he's called Mecha Man because like his whole thing is that like he has like a mech that he pilots, and that's like his whole thing. So talking more about the story, obviously we talked about how like you're playing as Mecha Man. At the beginning of this game, you're basically trying to track down Shroud, and you do end up finding him at like this steel mill, but then there's like a fight scene that breaks out against like this dude named like Toxic, and like his whole thing is that like his whole body is like made out of toxic matter, but like he's also naked, so like his penis is out basically. And so that's another thing about this game. This game is a comedy, and so like there are a lot of funny moments. I'm pretty sure people have like mentioned it, but like this game does kind of remind me of like an Invincible or The Boys, not like necessarily in terms of like the how bloody and grotesque it is, but just in the comedy and how outlandish some of the superpowers are. Like obviously one of the characters in this game is named Sonar, and like his whole thing is that like he's basically, or Moist Critical's, or the Moist Critical's character, he's basically a giant bat, like a half human half bat. And like you just get like these random characters. There's like another character that you end up meeting in episode 2 where like he's basically the janitor of like the job that you're working at, but like his whole thing is that like the way that he cleans like things is that he basically uses his sweat or like the water from like his skin to like clean things. And so like you just get like, because there's a scene at the end of the game, or at the end of episode 2 when you're talking to him and like he's cleaning the office, but like it ends, like the scene ends like with him throwing up water onto like your office space, and that's how he cleans your things. And so like it's just like weird things like that like remind me of like The Boys or like Invincible in a way. But yeah, you track down Shroud at the steel mill, and basically you have a fight scene and your mech ends up getting destroyed essentially, and that's when the character of Blonde Blazer, that's the character's name, comes into play, because now you don't have a mech, and you're kind of seen as like a down on your luck superhero loser, I guess, essentially right now. And so that's where the character of Blonde Blazer shows up, and she's basically here to recruit you into, the dispatch job basically. And there are a lot of funny scenes of like her kind of coming off as if like she's flirting with us, but like she's really not. She's just trying to she's just interviewing us, but it kind of comes off as like her trying to like flirt with us, because she takes us to like a bar, and then she takes us to like this, like a high rise, or like a high a billboard where like we're looking at like the Los Angeles view, and it kind of like feels like a date in a way, but it's not a date. And so I'm assuming that's going to be one of the characters that you romance in this game, or essentially, because when it comes to like these types of games, you do have like sometimes different types of characters that you're able to romance. So I'm assuming she's going to be one of those characters. But I have heard like theories that like she could end up being the villain of the story, and so that would be interesting. And so definitely going to be interested to see where her character goes. So basically she ends up recruiting us to this dispatch organization, and this is basically where when I talk about like the main gameplay loop of the game comes from. You're working at this office space, and basically you have these roster of supervillains that you're basically supervising. And so the main gameplay loop is like, and I don't know if there's necessarily a term for, like, I feel like there is like a term for like the type of gameplay that is in this game, because when you talk about gameplay, I feel like there are different types of gameplay in this game. Like I feel like when you talk about a game like this, or a choice-based game like this, obviously one of the main things you think about when it comes to just raw gameplay is the quick time events. And in this game there are like, quick time events at the beginning of the game, obviously, you know, I talked about, you know, a fight scene at the steel mill. You basically, there are quick time events that occur throughout the game. Like you'll press a certain button, or like you'll press like R2 and like you hold it, and then you hold or like you move like the arrow or like the left or right joystick down, and that will like, you know, perform like a move or like whatever. And you have moments like that as well, or even just like small things of like you suiting up. That's also like button prompts that you press, and like you're able to, you know, putting on a mask, or like you're zipping up your costume, like whatever. You do have, because I know at the beginning of the game they gave me the option of either cinematic mode or I forget the other mode, but it's essentially the mode with the quick time events. And so you have an option to either play without that mode on, or without it, I guess, or with or without it. And you know, I chose the option to play with QuickTime events just because I feel like it would add, you know, more to like the actual game, or feeling involved in like the story in the game itself. And so that is one of the gameplay segments in this game. Another part, obviously, I was talking about the dispatching part of this game, and yeah, you're basically I guess you are controlling these supervillains, and basically you're getting them to go out and deal with certain situations that are happening in the city. Now, there might be a robbery that happens, or there might be a cat that you need to like save out of a tree or anything like that. And so you get basically the best person for the job, essentially. And so you might pick up a character based on how smart they are, or you might get a character because they're strong or they're suitable for this type of situation. And so that is the main gameplay loop so far, and playing through it, I definitely like the concept of it and everything, and I don't know if like I'm gonna feel like this when I'm on episode 5 or like 6 of this game and I'm still doing this type of gameplay. Like, I don't know if it's going to get I don't know the term for it, like, just, I don't want to say boring, but like, okay, is there like, is this it? Is it just this? Like, and I feel like I was feeling like that playing episode 2, because that's like when you get this whole gameplay segment, and I was feeling like that a little bit, but then something interesting happened. One of the characters that you're dispatching in Visigal, there's like this donut shop that you need to go to, or like I think there's like a robbery or like a crime happening at this donut shop. And in Visigal, basically she's the only character that can end up in this donut shop, and that led to basically a story moment, or that led to like a cinematic moment with like her in the donut shop, and you're basically telling her, you know, what to do in this situation and everything. And that part I liked. And so if we're able to get more moments like that, like intertwining like cinematic story or moments with like the gameplay loop of the whole like dispatching thing, I think that will be interesting. If they're, you know, if that's what they're gonna do for the rest of the episodes, just to keep it more interesting and engaging and everything, because I feel like that is important. But like, you also get like, you know, when it comes to, I guess, other gameplay mechanics, like it's a small thing, but like you get like this hacking mechanic where like you have like this virtual cube or like whatever, and like you gotta move it through like these lines, and like there are like these, it's basically like a puzzle sort of in a way, where like you gotta find like these arrow keys, and like the arrow keys basically let you progress through like the puzzle, and you have little segments like that. It's not really anything like special or anything like that, but you do have like, you know, parts like that as well. Yeah, another thing that I forgot to, I guess, bring up or mention in this video is that like, and I have talked about it before in other videos, is that like when it comes to like the cast of this game, it is a pretty stacked cast. There are a lot of familiar or popular names that you see in the credits for this game. Obviously, the main protagonist of this game, Mecha Man, is voiced by Aaron Paul. You know, he's from Breaking Bad and everything, obviously. And you also have just other like popular voice actors in this game as well. Laura Bailey, she plays Invisigal. Travis Willingham is also in this game. I think he plays the I forget his name, Phenomenon, or like he's like the boyfriend of the blonde chick, or like the or blonde blazer, basically. But they also have like even just like YouTuber or like content creators like voicing characters in this game. Like I talked about how one of the characters, Sonar, is voiced by Moist Critical. They have Jacksepticeye voicing one of the characters. I think they also have Alana Pierce in this game. And so when it comes to like the talent that they have for this game, it is pretty stacked. And so, and that's another thing. Like going into this game and knowing all of these like people are going to be a part of this game, definitely like the voice acting in this game is pretty good, or just like the acting in general in this is pretty good. The main character, like, you know, being voiced by Aaron Paul, like you don't even like, wouldn't even say that you don't recognize that it's Aaron Paul's voice, but I feel like most of the people in this game do a pretty good job of just like voicing the character and not feeling like, oh, that's Moist Critical as this character, or like, well, yeah, it sounds like Moist Critical, like he's not like doing a voice or anything like that. But like, yeah, the voice acting is also pretty good in this game, I think, as well. So, but yeah, so far I am enjoying the story. I'm also enjoying the gameplay. But in terms of gameplay, I am enjoying the whole like dispatch mechanic. I do think like as the game progresses, it will get more, I guess as the episodes progress, or you get to other episodes, just the mechanic, or those mechanics like the dispatching mechanic or like the hacking mechanic, those parts will be more advanced, or will get more complex and complicated as the episodes go on. That's just my theory right now, or I guess thoughts. And so, yeah, it's gonna be interesting how much that mechanic plays into the story. And I guess just talking about like, it's not even really a negative, but like just also, I don't know if I felt like this, but I did kind of feel like the game, or like the first two episodes, and that might be why we got like the first two episodes, or the individual episodes, or maybe it's because like I'm playing through the game and like, so maybe it's just time moves by faster, I don't know, but it feels like short a little bit. I don't know how to explain it, but like I feel like the episodes do feel like a little short, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I do wish they were kind of longer, I guess, but like the episodes that we do get are pretty good, and we are getting 2 episodes a week, and so that's definitely gonna like help with like, you know, maybe an episode feeling a little bit short, knowing that we get another episode right after. And so those are like the only really 2 negatives or concerns I have about the game, are like the whole dispatch gameplay loop. Like, is that gonna get like tired out by like the, you know, end of like the season, or like, and also the runtime of the episodes, like them feeling a little bit shorter, or so. I don't know if they're gonna get longer, or the next episodes will be longer, but we'll just have to see. But yeah, man, I'm enjoying my time with Dispatch so far. Let me know in the comments section below, did you buy the new Dispatch game? Have you been playing it? If you have, what are your thoughts and opinions on the game? Have you been enjoying it? Have you not been enjoying it and everything? Let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, man, that's gonna be it for this video. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, and I will see you guys on the next one. So yeah, bye.